Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruchah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, rule well, and labor in this word and doctrine. So we're going to do a quick video. We do like to say that a lot, though. It might not be a quick video. We're planning to make this quick. We're just going to go through in Revelation 17. We're going to get to the main point, which will be in verse 9. 10. So we're gonna start at verse 1 though. Should I read it?
I'll read. Bear with, because it's on. Alright. Revelation 17. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked to me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
So there's a great whore that sits upon many waters. So go down to the last verse real quick. Let's establish who the whore is real quick.
This is Revelation 17 and 18. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
So the whore represents the great city, the abundant city that reigneth over the kings of the whole earth. So this is like the top kingdom of earth, right? This is what the whore is, right? And then if you go to verse 5, you're going to see upon her head was a name written mystery, Babylon the Great, okay? The mother of harlots. Now, back to verse 1, it says, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Go to verse 15. Let's find out what the many waters that this great city sits upon. Excuse me.
This is Revelation 17 and verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So that is the breakdown. The waters which you saw are the people.
Right. Speaking on the matter, Babylon heaps up all nations. All nations are conforming to the ways of Babylon.
Start verse 5.
Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 5. Yea also, because he transgresseth by wine.
No, pause there. When we read the second verse of Revelation 17, we'll find out about the wine. So just pause that. File save that.
He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
All right, so you see that this man, because you're going to find out that this whore is ruled over by a people group. Okay, so the whore is a kingdom, and this people group are the rulership, the people that run that country, that institution, which really is a city. It's one large city. It's scaled itself up or positioned itself as a country. Right, so the people group of E, as we call him, the red man of Genesis 25, has heaped up, gathered all people to him. Put the, if you get verse 14 as well, please.
Habakkuk 2 verse 14. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord.
Maybe 11, so okay.
Verse 11.
The one that says about putting a bottle to his mouth.
It's 15.
Alright, verse 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbour drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness.
Right, and that's what they do. What does it mean, the nakedness? Do they literally go around, all right, look, a Chinese guy, let me make him drunk? Not literally. They make him drunk with philosophy. Why would a Chinese man walk around in a suit with a shaved face? When you see them ancient traditional Chinese movies, they weren't wearing that shit. Or not the movies are that even ancient, but even back then. So to do business, to do commerce among this world, you have to dress like E. If you want to be at the height of success. So that's one thing that they've done. They have to emulate that, because they have to emulate the customs, the traditions, and therefore the doctrine, philosophy, and ideology follows. So they've got democracy. They've got very many forms of government, very many different doctrines that people mix up in. But them putting the bottle to the neighbour's mouth is symbolic of them drinking that spiritual wine. So this is Revelation 17 and 2. It said, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Right, so when they've been made drunk, when you literally get drunk of literal wine, red wine, white wine, whatever wine, or strong drink, people don't behave exactly the same. That's the purpose of it, to make men glad. When you do too much, it brings bitterness, quarreling, so on and so forth. Like when you had Noah, right? That whole scenario happened due to too much alcohol, right? So you can see, so when you have the spiritual alcohol, that's when people act out. So you've seen the shame. It's a shame to behave like an E.
This is Isaiah 29:9. Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. And that's the witness we usually bring up. You know, like you got Brandon Carr. He made a video a while back where he's saying why you should shave your beard off. And he's showing you how if you look at all the successful people, right, they all shave their beard off. Which is a fucking... I mean, their success is not credited to them shaving their fucking face. And, you know, furthermore... You know, man, there's so much you could say of how stupid that is. But the whole video, he's talking about that. He has no shame. He's teaching people to. He's putting the ball to their mouth, man. Right? Because that's a sin. We're not supposed to shave our beard off, man.
This is Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 27. It says, "Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shall thou mar the corners of thy beard." And if I'm thinking of the right person, he's got a bald shaved head as well, innit?
Yeah.
Which we're not meant to do that. So he's dressed straight up like a heathen, man. Not dressed. Well, yeah,
he
dressed.
has fashioned himself like a heathen outwardly.
But in our day-to-day life, you know, we don't wear fringes all the time.
Right.
But I mean, you know, he will purposefully fashion his hair, which is, you know, a bald head is a Hamite custom. You know, a bald face is a heathen custom. You know, there's many people that do that, but we don't do that. You know, so he was saying to be successful, you have to do that. Well, he's right to a degree. Although, you know, correlation doesn't always prove causation, or however they say it. You know, just because every Tuesday when I wear certain socks, you know, it happens to be a Tuesday. It's not Tuesday because I put the socks on. But in this case, he might be correct. You know, you might get more favorable business opportunities because, you know, you fashion yourself after the ruler.
Revelation 17:3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman. Again, the same woman. I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, and the scarlet represents like royalty, like having rulership.
If you ever watch any middle-aged films that are made by E, you know, because he's very good at being accurate for a lot of things. Obviously, skin color is one he likes to, you know, neglect. But generally, when you're never gonna get. Zelda Apostle always mentions if you watch a Jake film from the 70s, there'll be a song from the 90s there. You know, people getting down dressed in the wrong clothes, cars from a wrong era. You know, but when you watch that, the middle-aged films, all the royalty, you know, they'll be dressed in scarlet or purple, as it also says. You know, and that was royal, and everyone else, the paupers, the peons, the peasants, will be dressed in more grey, brown, more casual colours.
And it reads, "And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, blasphemia," which means to go against the fame, which is most certainly what, you know, well, when you get into it, this beast, the scarlet-colored beast in which the woman's sitting on, is referring to the, because remember, the whore is the great city that reigneth upon the whole earth, Babylon the Great, and that is referring to America. And the scarlet-colored beast is referring to the expansion of that empire from Rome, which includes, you know, Rome, and then of course the EU and NATO. This is all part of the same, you know, Edomitic, Edomitic empire. It's all part of the kingdom. There's different parts of it. Different horns represent power. Different ways that it's executing its power amongst the land, you know, amongst themselves and the earth.
Like you have a literal beast. You might have an elephant with 2 tusks.
There you go.
Just because you've got 1 tusk doesn't mean it's a completely different person. You know, it's just a different entity. It's just a different member. Yeah. I've got 2 arms. My left arm is part of my body, but it's not my right arm. Yeah, but it all makes up the same thing.
Right. They all have each other and essentially need each other. Just like you need 2 arms, really. You know, the Most High made us in a way where everything is the way it is for a reason. It's all fitting for the purpose.
You might get around life with 1 arm,
right?
More time it's going to be advantageous to have 2.
Certainly,
unless you get like a scholarship for only having an arm.
And it could be a hindrance, you know, to your life only having 1 arm. You know? And if you're talking about power as a nation, you know, if you liken to your arms, and you got a jab and you got a right hand, you got a check hook, you got a right hook, you know, whatever. Everything has their purpose, right? So these different kingdoms have their purpose, but it's all part of the same you to make power. Do you have a scripture?
This is Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 13. And the word of the Lord came unto me the second time, saying, What seest thou? And I said, I see a seething pot, and the face thereof is toward the north. Right, and that seething pot is referring to Babylon the Great, because all ethnicities are there, all 18 nations that the Lord has created, right, dwells there. Verse 14, Then the Lord said unto me, Out of the north an evil shall break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land, right, and America's gonna, it's gonna get destroyed, right, a big lake of fire, from the chariots of the Lord, from the ICBM missiles, Russia and its armies alongside, they're going to destroy Babylon the Great, and only the elect, are going to come out of there.
It's going to be full force destruction, all
hands on deck.
Yeah, man. No holding back punches, so to speak. Everything is just going to be full on warfare and destruction and peril, and no time for anyone to think about all the memories they had in that land. It's just going to be, the only thing they're thinking about is how the fuck do you not die?
All the niceties go out the window when you're in a survival situation.
Yep.
Even on a low key, like you see them little Bear Grylls survival island. Yeah, just men versus women. That was funny. But you see how everyone resorts to a more primitive way of being, man. And when someone's not eating, they get snappy. Now, like what the brother says, when people haven't eaten, they lose their shit, man. So you imagine you're in a, there's no security. You don't know if your home's gonna get bombed. You don't know if you're going home. You don't know if you've got food. Man, all that other shit. Oh yeah, hi, yeah, you can go in front of them. That shit's gone, blood. Long time. Think, yeah, you can cut in front of me. Man, there's only one loaf of bread. If that. So we're moving into a time where you're gonna see true colours. It's not everyone will be austere.
And sometimes you learn the true colors by way of deception. Like, hey, we can definitely share this bread. Hey, come with me. Poof, you get killed. Now they take the bread. Because that's what people are going to do. These people are wicked, man. Seriously wicked, especially the nation of E. And especially our people, man. The top wicked is E. And then you've got second place victory with, with our people, man, of the world.
No, our deeds have surpassed the wicked.
I would say again?
Our deeds have surpassed the wicked.
And especially, I was going to say, especially talking about, Eve, man. Eve is a bigger enemy to us really than
Eve. Is
Eve.
but littleness to the wickedness of a woman.
There you go.
The portion of a sinner fall upon her.
And who's the most wicked woman, Eve, man, heavily. So you got scriptures?
No, we'll keep going.
Okay, no worries. So the woman again, the whore of Babylon, America, sits upon a scarlet-colored beast because they're carrying this whore, man. They're the ones sustaining and keeping up America because it's got all this power and whatnot, but they need to give it its power because ultimately they want to take part in the merchandise. They want to take part in all this shit. If they're pushing out this philosophy to the world, they're what are we gonna do? Go against them? For now they ain't. But if you keep reading the chapter, you'll see further on. But again, it says, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now that should sound very familiar, when it's going into this beast. What we're gonna do is just gonna slow it down, brothers. Go to verse. Do you want to read verse? Go down to verse 9.
This is Revelation 17 and verse 9. And here is a mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth.
Okay, yeah. I think we should go up a little bit. Sorry. I think we should. Sorry. We should go up to verse 7. Yeah.
Shall I not just read from verse 6?
Why not?
So verse 6, we've already read verse 5. I'll read it again. And upon her head was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And when you go into Babal HaGadal, when you count that up, you're going to see that it has the same numerology as 666, which is, again, a hint of who the rulership or who the ruler of this actually is. So verse 6, Revelation 17:6. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which had the 7 heads and the 10 horns. Verse 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is.
Do you want to go into that? The latter part.
Verse. Well, let's go from the top. The beast that thou sawest was and is not and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit.
All right. Yeah. So again, when it says the beast that thou sawest was and is not and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. Now, the bottomless pit is referring to Europe. The reason why this beast is ascended out of the bottomless pit, right? Oh yeah, good point. The Western Roman Empire. That's why it's known as the Roman Empire rather than the Roman Republic, because Julius Caesar. Do you know what the year is, Achim? Julius Caesar, because he's the one that really, he was the ruler at that time that really went against. They had that little civil Roman war going against Pompey, and this is the time when the Roman Empire was really formed again. When I say formed again, I mean the Western Roman Empire, where the nation of E ruled as the Romans.
Pompey defeated Caesar in 48 BC.
Okay, so and again, when it says the beast that thou sawest was and is not and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, it's because we was ruling for 1,000 years, all right, in Europe, and the Europe is the bottomless pit, so we were in the bottomless pit ruling, and they were under us.
Pursuant to Revelation chapter 20 and verse 2.
Yep. And then after 1,000 years, they came up again, man. It was the Renaissance period. Yep. For a little season, we're still in that season.
And Renaissance means
rebirth. Okay. So,
and why would they be reborn? If they were living and they were doing everything, and they make out there wasn't any literature, there wasn't anything going on, which there was. It just wasn't them that were making it. So why would they have to be reborn if they were in rulership? You know, there's a whole mystery concerning the Dark Ages itself, the Middle Ages.
And when it says the beast that thou sawest was and is not and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition, because eventually, all right, these damn devils are going to go into judgment. They're going to get destroyed. It says, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names are not written in the book of life. Right? They're going to wonder, you know, like this is of this beast coming back out of the bottomless pit. Okay, and it says, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. When they behold the beast, right, that was and is not and yet is. And we're going to learn more about this beast, because we're going to learn exactly how the Roman Empire, the Western Roman Empire, had been resurrected. Okay. Verse 9, and here is the mind which hath wisdom.
This is Revelation 17:9, and here's the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth.
And 7 mountains represent kingdoms, man. So these are 7 kingdoms that, the woman sits on this beast, right? So the woman sits on 7 kingdoms. They're carrying her.
Something we often bring out to make the point on that as well is when you have all these kingdoms coming together, they call it a summit. You know, and the summit is the top of a mountain.
There you go.
So verse 10 now. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
All right, so
there are 7 kings.
Now I'll make this clear, right? So when it says 7 kings again, it doesn't mean that it's not kingdoms. A kingdom has a king and a king has a kingdom. It goes hand in hand. It's kind of obvious. Like, people always do that, but that's fucking simple stuff. When it says 5 are fallen, this is the thing. 5 are fallen. Like, this is written at this time, right? Why are 5 fallen? It's because when the Romans are ruling, can you get Daniel 7:7? When the Romans are ruling, and they certainly are, but that time specifically, right? They were occupying these lands that were indeed the 7 mountains. Well, minus, you know, for like Great Britain had it, like, you know, it wasn't really necessarily involved. That's why it says 5 are fallen.
The 7 are.
Well, first one is go ahead.
So we've got Rome, Greece, Spain, including Portugal,
right?
The France, the Germania Major, Germania Minor, and then the 7th would be Britain.
Right. So there you go.
And then the 8th.
That's the point, right?
Babylon the Great.
That's the point. So when it says there are 7 kings, those are 7 kingdoms. It says 5 are fallen because at that time there were 5 of them that was completely ruled over and subdued by Rome. So
this is Daniel 7:7. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly,
and we'll just give a little brief summary. The 4 beasts refer to 4 different kingdoms because the beasts are representing kingdoms. First, it was the Assyro-Babylonian Empire. All right, this is ancient Babylon referring to. And then it was the Medo-Persian Empire. And then it was the Greeks. And then it goes in now to the 4th beast. So read again from the top.
After this, Daniel 7:7, after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns.
All right. So now we read through it. So now when it says dreadful and terrible, it brought much fear to the earth, and it was strong exceedingly, right? And it had great iron teeth, because again, iron is the strongest metal to use for weapons. Right now we have steel, which is an alloy using iron. They used to have different metals back in the days, and the Medo-Persian Empire and the Greek, they actually used an inferior metal to the ancient Babylonians. That they're inferior in their strength that way, but they had more power anyway. You know what I mean? So with less military, equipment, yeah, they still overcame. But now we're seeing the Romans, and they've got some serious weapons, man. Iron can, if you ever see videos, go on like I think maybe Scalagrim has a channel where he's got a bronze sword, a Kopesh, one of the Egyptian swords, and he's got iron, and he's like going through and slashing and slicing and doing blocks with it and whatever. And you can see that iron swords fucking trump bronze, man. I think he had a steel one, so it is definitely even stronger. That does give you some level of visualization, observation there.
You go into the word teeth. A teeth for any beast is a weapon.
Right.
Right. When you go to war with a lion, they have claws and they have teeth.
Right.
They don't have guns.
Yep.
They don't have swords, believe it or not. Lions. Right. So when this is a beast, the similitude is what? The teeth is the weaponry.
There you go.
Okay. Even Jake says that today. He calls bullets teeth. I've got teeth for this gun.
Right.
Why? Because Jake is a brute beast. But anyway.
So this is dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and had great iron teeth, because it had military might. That the other nations, they were fearful, man. How the fuck it was supposed to go against these guys, man? They're steps ahead. And then as it reads, and stamped the residue. Oh, I'm sorry. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. See now, because everyone was now having to pay tribute to Rome, right? It occupied all the sea routes for pushing out merchandise, trading like, different resources and whatnot.
Mediterranean.
Yeah, thank you, the Mediterranean Sea and whatnot.
Which means Middle Earth.
So they were on lock. They were locking down the place, man. You couldn't fucking do nothing.
That was actually the first lockdown.
So when it says, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, that's specifically talking about the fact that they didn't have a successor of the throne from the same bloodline, right? They would specifically just vote different people to have a rulership on the land every year. We might as well bring it out.
For example, Alexander, although they had democracy and they were trying to push that shit, Alexander was a king, and then his 4 servants took on, the kingdom, and then their sons put crowns upon themselves.
Right. Now, with 1 Maccabees 8, if you go up the top, you'll see it's talking about Romans. But 1 Maccabees 8 and 14, yet for all and the Senate house, which we're about to read, actually started with the Greeks,
which was known as the Bouleuterian.
So
it was a council house or a Senate house, but the Senate house, how it's arranged in Rome, is very specific.
Yep. 1 Maccabees 8 and 14, yet for all this, none of them wore a crown or was clothed in purple, to be magnified thereby. Moreover, how they had made for themselves a Senate house, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting always for the people, to the end they might be well ordered. And that's most certainly what they did. Back to this. So, and Daniel 7 and 7 at the very end, it said it had 10 horns. So that's the end of that verse. We'll end it there. But you can see it's the same beast. The scarlet could be 7 heads, 10 horns. It doesn't say 7 heads here, but it's talking about the same beast. You're going to see the exact correlation, right? So when it says 5 have fallen, well, 5 of them during that time, they weren't horns necessarily. They weren't really kingdoms established and ruling amongst themselves at that time. And those 5 that were fallen at that time were the Greeks, France, Iberians, Germania Major, Germania Minor.
The Sirach chapter 10, verse 1. Wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
Alright, so if the ruler's a devil, guess what? I also talks about if a ruler hearken unto liars, all his servants are wicked.
Come on, stick that. That's Proverbs 29. Alright. So again, there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen at that time. Again, it was the Greeks, the French, the Iberians, Germanic Major, Germanic Minor. These lands occupied by the Romans. They didn't have their own exact establishment of their own little rulership that was a branch of the Roman Empire necessarily. They were fallen at that time. They were lowly. Now it says and
like provinces, not necessarily provinces, but like unto provinces. You know, a group of provinces. Right. So you'd have, for example, you had Ireland at one point became known as Hibernia, which actually goes back to the same etymological root as Iberia or Iberian. But Hibernia was that's the Roman name, the classical Latin name for Ireland. You know, so they'd all have their different names, right? This is whatever you call this, Expelliarmus province or something like that.
does it go back to Ibar, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah. That's what I believe it goes.
And the other, and Ibar is the forefather of those that are known as, that were considered Hebrews. Because really the word is Ibaria in the actual ancient language. But that's a lesson for another time. And it says, and one is, and the other is not yet come. So it says there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and one is. So watch the one that is. Who is writing this right now? John the Revelator, during the time when the Romans were ruling. So the one that is are the Romans. And the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. So the 7th is indeed Great Britain. And Britain had its time, man. Britain had a long time of, being the top G's.
The sun doesn't set up on the British Empire. Because they had so many provinces, so many, cities, rulerships, states, or rulership over states. That everywhere that they went, at some point there'd be somewhere that it was daylight wherever they ruled. Now you gotta imagine, that's crazy, man.
The Federal Reserve currency, the earth for a long time was the British pound. Where are we at? And nothing else to say on that. When he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th. Ooh, even when you say the word pound, because
Which one? The Great British Pound.
Because that's what I mean. Because it would not relate as well to
Libra.
To Libra. Because LBS, that the
2.2 pounds to a kilogram.
Yeah, like the weight pounds goes into Roman currency systems, man. I wonder if the British pound does the same thing. But brother's gonna look at that as a side note. And the beast that was
as a note. Pound says pound in weight or in money. Also pint from German pound as a measure of yep. From Latin pondo pound, originally libra pondo, a pound by weight. So libra means weight. That's why the LBS is libras. By weight, ablative of pondus, weight, pender, like to suspend. Or if you look very pensive, you're sort of hanging, you're considering, you're thinking. So yeah, it goes back to Libra Pondo. So that's another proof that Britain is a province of the Roman Empire.
Yep. And isn't that
I love that word province now, man.
Is that referring to a Roman idol as well?
Libra is,
yeah.
Let's look at that. Libra. Do you want to read Libra?
I can't look that up.
And this is all on the atoms that we're looking this up.
Libra goes back to the zodiac constellation represented by a pair of scales. Late Old English from Latin Libra, a balanced pair of scales. Also pound, unit of weight, from Proto-Italic lithra, pound.
No, this says it's from the Wikipedia. It says the symbol of the scales is based on the scales of justice held by Themis, the Greek personification of divine law and customs. Also, Lady Justice, the Statue of Liberty, also holds the Libras, which is another proof that they're holding up that beacon of hope for the Roman Empire going back. And we did touch on it, but that's why it says, let me get it verbatim. So it said, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, because it's going through, it's prophesying the history of this beast. It'd have to fall down. It was, but it's not because it'd have to fall down, but then it is because it comes back. And we're in that little season after the Renaissance until the time of Yahushua returning, then we're in the little season of ease rulership.
Cool. So in Revelation 17:11 it says, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7. And this is referring to Babylon the Great. Alright? This is referring to really how the Roman Empire fully had its resurrection. You know, because America is a carbon copy, as they say. What does it say? You know, it's a resemblance of the Roman Empire, you know, almost to the fucking T. You know, it's like its modern form of it. As I say, modern, right? Because it has modern aspects of, you know, the way society operates in a way. You know, the Western world, as they call it right now. You know, it's they claim it's progressive. It's, you know, everything's progressing to where it is today. Really, it's just fucking. You can't even say backwards. Because really, if you're talking about backwards, you're gonna go back to the ancient ways, which they're going way out of that way, man. Right, so Revelation 17:11, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, right? He's of the 7, and what literally there was that revolutionary war, as they call it, the War of Independence, where America became independent from Great Britain. So it is of the 7 indeed. Because again, it's all E, man. It's all the expansion of the Romans. And goeth into perdition, and that again, you see, it goes into perdition because it's already prophesied, it is written. They shall be destroyed, and it shall be with nuclear fire.
So when Rome went down, you know, when we rose up in rulership, that's really like Babylon. That's really like America went down. You know, because everything pertaining to Babylon, there was a forerunner to that. So everything that happened in Rome, everything that happened in Iberia, in all them places, really happened in Babylon. You know, because it's like when you have a man, or he's carrying the seed. You know, this is merely an offspring. That's why it says, your mother should be so confounded. Yeah, because who's the mother? Great Britain. Right, so the beast that thou saw was. So it was because, you know, Rome's up. It's not because it's not Babylon yet. You know, but it was ascend out of the bottomless pit, you know, where it was it once in a semi-destruction, you know, destroyed for a period, resurrected, you know, rose back up, and then it's going to go into final perdition, destruction forever. Forever.
It reads Revelation 17:12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Okay, and this is referring, you know, it goes to the European Union, originally known as the EEC, the European Economic Committee. And it reads verse 13. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. There you go. That's exactly what they're doing. They're giving their power unto the beast. And you know, in the scriptures, it makes it very clear. In fact, let's go down. Let's just go down. Verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. They're going to hate the woman, which is the 8th. They're going to hate her. They do hate her, man. They just need to. They need to. How else to? They want to have their power, their money. They want to have rulership of the land. They want to live in abundance and rest. And so they have to keep raising up the whore, keep pushing on the wine of the whore, the messed up philosophy. Keep everyone drunk, so they can keep having rulership. Okay? And it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. Right, so the Most High will move the hearts of these rulers to, eventually, shoot the ICBMs unto America and destroy it. Alright, that's the future of America. And
did you get verse 14?
14.
Revelation 17:14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Right, so all these provinces of Rome are going to make war with the one that Rome crucified. Right, Yahushua HaMashiach. Not realizing they're in a trick bag. Right, which however they try and move, they've been checkmated. Okay, so there's no way out. There's literally no way out. But all of these kingdoms that believe, they're mad prideful, because a lot are aware of, or the elites at least, are aware of the history. You know, aware of prophecy being fulfilled, aware of truly of the existence of the Heavenly Father and His Son. But they're still proud enough in their hearts to try and make war. right? And that's how the end is going to be ushered in. The end of the end, that is.
And then, we already read the last verse, but read it again. And the woman which thou sawest is that great sea which reigneth over the kings of the earth. And they're going to burn it with fire. The chariots are going to destroy it with fire, concentrated heat, known as lasers. And that shall be the time when the elect are going to take, destroy it. Once that's destroyed, and then the elect are going to be with Yahweh Shai, get ready to establish the kingdom by taking these other nations in chains and put them to work, man, to build up the kingdom. That's going to be the judgment of whoever's remaining in the world, not Babylon, because everyone besides the elect is going to be destroyed in Babylon. As the Apostle Gabal likes to say, and as we like to quote, the only thing coming out of Babylon the Great is the elect. And think about how big Babylon is, how many people are there. It's a giant place, man. But it's all going to be turned to one giant desert.
The screech owl.
Ready? Should I do it? Alright, so.
Yeah. Matthew chapter 24, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
The water. And again, as we were talking, man, when things get really heavy, that's exactly what's going to happen, man. When things get really wild up in Babylon, people aren't eating, people are losing sleep over the fear of the violence that's happening. All manner of chaos everywhere. People can't go places because of how many people are now, being revelous, and how many people are trying to kill people for their food, trying to kill people so they can eat them and their babies. The last thing on their mind there, not even the last thing on their mind, is, I wonder when the next episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians is. That's going to be Audi 5000. But when they're off here, I don't know what this video is edifying, so I hope you understand now when it goes to the five of fallen. In fact, one more time, referring to the Greeks, the French, the Iberians, and Germania Major, Germania Minor. And that time when the Romans were ruling, they were fallen under the hands of the Romans. They were subdued by them. They were stamped by the Romans, because of the military might. Alright? So once again, I don't know what this video is edifying. We give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach Kodash. And double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone and rule well, labor in this word and doctrine. Shalom.